Spanish wills and inheritance in Tenerife, or as the Spanish people would say, in Tenerife. This guideline that we're going to give would also be valid for anywhere in the Canary Islands. My name is Michael Davies. I'm a Spanish inheritance lawyer, specialised in wills and probate and inheritance-related litigation. And I've been handling these matters for expats all over Spain, including the islands, since 1996. Okay, so in this video, I'm going to give you quickly explain all the things that you need to know if you have an asset, a property in Tenerife or anywhere on the Canary Islands, and you want to leave things organized for your spouse or for the rest of the family, or if you've been called to inherit a property in Tenerife or one of the other islands. Okay, so let's start off with the easy matters, and that is the Spanish will. When you buy the property in Spain, your lawyer almost for certain will have recommended that you make a Spanish will. Hopefully you have done that. It's important for the will to be well written. It's very important for it to be done. And if you want us to go through your Spanish will to make sure it's in good order, or make a will because you haven't done one, even though we're based on the mainland, we can organize a Spanish will for you to be signed at a local notary over there in the Canary Islands. So with the will, there's no difference for the rest of Spain, and that is you just need to make a Spanish will. We've done lots of other videos about the bad consequences of not making a Spanish will and how it's much more complex to deal with the Spanish estate based on an English will or with no will at all. Don't go down that route. Make a Spanish will. Make sure that if you want to leave everything to your spouse, make sure you make a choice of your national law to escape the Spanish system of obligatory heirs. In other words, Spanish people cannot leave their estate to their spouse because they have to leave 2/3 down to the kids, but you can escape that that system, okay, as long as the will is correctly written. So the next step is the actual inheritance procedure. If there's a Spanish will in place, simply call the solicitor that prepared the will, or anybody else. We'll be gladly help you. That's our main line of work, dealing with probate for expats. So, give us a call. We set up a Zoom link. We'll ask you for a copy of the will, a copy of the deed, the escritura, and with that we can prepare a budget and time scale to handle the work. We handle lots of inheritances on the islands, and as I say, we sign everything here on the mainland because it's not necessary to sign at the same place, the place where the assets are. And where there is a big difference now between the Canary Islands and the rest of the Spain is in inheritance tax. The Canary Islands has their own different exemptions and allowances that make inheritance tax different than other regions of Spain. Up to 2020, the Canary Islands was a great place for inheritance tax on our famous traffic light of green, amber, and red. In other words, we've got the 17 regions of Spain. We classify each one depending on how favorable they are for inheritance tax. It used to be in green, now Canary Islands is in amber. Up to 2020, the close relatives basically paid no inheritance tax in the Canary Islands. Since 2020, they've made things slightly worse. It's not one of them. There are regions of Spain where you pay more inheritance tax, so it's sort of middling in the middle there. So the way it works nowadays is you apply a small exempt amount that depends on the relationship that you have with the deceased. In other words, how close you are as a family member. There are different exemptions there. Then we apply a sliding scale. It starts at 7%, goes up to 34%. This is the national level of inheritance tax. And then you apply some multipliers at the end, depending on the pre-existing wealth of the person that's receiving the assets, and again the connection with the deceased. In other words, are you the child, the spouse, the cousin, or a stranger? Now, once we've done all that calculation, in the Canary Islands, we have some extra exemptions, okay? Now, for children under 21, the exemption, the allowance is still 99.9%. In other words, they will pay no inheritance tax, or virtually none. Now, for descendants, parents, siblings, nephews, nieces, and the spouse, you get the 99.9% deduction, but now only up to €55,000. This did, in the old days, before up to 2020, did not have a limit. Okay, as you go up, the deduction that the Canary Islands allows you, respect to the national level of inheritance tax, goes down. So basically, on amounts between 55 and 65, we get 90% discount. Between 65 and 95, we get an 80% discount. Between 95 and 125, 70% discount. So you get the gist of how it works. So the discount that the National Tax Office offers you, that the Canary Islands offers us, slightly reduces as the amount goes up. The Canary Islands doesn't have other advantages respect to the National Tax Office level, and that is that there are other discounts, discounted amounts for the main home, if you're inheriting your main home and you're a resident, for family businesses. There are other things as well. So we're experts at inheritance tax and inheritance procedures. So if you've been called to inherit in the Canary Islands, whether you've got a Spanish will, or we are lucky there's no Spanish will because there's just an English will, or if there's no will at all, give us a call. We'll have a Zoom consultation. We can go through everything, and then we will provide you with a budget and time scale. So that's sort of it in a nutshell for how things work. If you need help, contact us. And I hope you found the video useful. I have put a whole load of notes below the video that you can go through, where you sort of see the how the calculation is made. And we also offer below a link to our website where you can find a lot more information about us as a firm, and myself in particular as the lawyer that handles all the inheritance work. Thank you for watching.